expected from them, right? Where when they are able to punch up, it is through team fighting. When that team fighting doesn't necessarily go their way, sometimes because of their decision to an objective or take a fight that's not very advantageous for them. So
it's funny, you know, like MCOI fans came back to my tweets.
Expected for me, so I kind of hope this team sticks together, because whenever you see a team that is this young, that has that much mechanical talent,
they're coming back to me as if winning 2-1 after like being at fucking elimination, staring down the battle elimination in game 2, as if it's like, haha, they showed you, Yamato. It's like, bro, you almost got eliminated by Team Secret Wales. I came in today, thought you guys gonna stomp the shit out of them. That's the standard I set.
That could be looking CFO-esque in a couple of years. Like, I think that they have that potential to be able to build.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same way about Movistar. I have to not. Hey, it was rough. Listen, it was rough, but when they mattered, or when it mattered most, rather, when they had to bring it home in that game 2
Canadian
and in that game 3, let's take a look at a couple of replays as we're waiting for Jojo, who had a monster series, I gotta say. Even in the game they lost, Isaac, they kept them in.
Yeah. I think all 3 games, it was absolute mid-gap. He really was making big plays. He was winning out in the 1v1s. He was rarely ever dying. I feel like this is one of the best international performances we have seen from Jojo. When I think back to this team,
he played so fucking bad.
He's so
it's funny, you know, because I don't know if you read under my tweets, like MCOI fans, these guys that are tweeting, they're so stupid.
What do they say?
They're just dumb.
This is the guy that really stepped up.
They're like talking about my world's record, bro. My world's record? Like, do they know the history of this old, bro?
He definitely showed me. And also, it's
they went 0-3 last year,
right?
bro.
Like, when I think of like, okay,
they were elimination point against Team Secret Wales.
It's been a bad run for MCOI so far. Yeah, they've looked bad. Like, they had a free win versus KT. They flew it.
Yeah,
they drew 2 domestic opponents, which are probably like some of the easiest you can get.
Yeah.
And then they drew
Team Secret Wales,
the easiest possible draw in Team Secret Wales, and they like don't even look significantly better. Like, they look like they
today, game 2 could have been such a loss.
I mean, Jojo is just completely gapping this guy mid. It's the only reason.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, that's what I've been saying. It's just an NA team. Like, it's the same way that FlyQuest is a European team. MCOI is just an NA team. Except we don't want them because they're Spanish. But
I mean,
they are an NA team.
Like this, you lose to every other team that's left in the tournament. That's kind of my honest feeling. I do think that Team Secret Wales is way weaker than every other team that's going to be alive in the 2-2 bracket. So I think we saw some real bright spots, but if they can bring it all together, if they can play at that high level that we know they all can, they can definitely make it happen. But that's always kind of the question with MCOI, because great, you did beat Secret Wales. That is a big win. You're still in it. You're 1 series away, but you've got teams like CFO. You've got teams like potentially T1, like BLG, like, you know, so many of these really powerful teams that I think are going to be a much tougher challenge. You can't make those early game mistakes and expect to be able to come back like they did in this one.
You can't indeed, and hopefully Jojo has as good of a series as he had here today. He is also our Oppo player of the series, as you know, we were singing his praises already, and you need that. You need a stable mid laner. I think this is the same fight we've seen. Even on the RE, we didn't love the charms landed.
Yeah, and I mean, this was kind of, even in, again, some of their losses, he kept landing really, really good shockwave, or in their loss, he was still landing really good shockwaves. His Casio was a huge difference maker in that game-changing fight where they essentially eradicated the gold lead, got Otacon, got tier 1. And so I think, like, you did in this series at least see a lot of the positives that he does bring to this.
All right, I think the YouTube stream should work.
Really great day.
Absolutely, and I mean, one of the things that really
YouTube stream is on.
Is that
I will do a little bit of roaming and then I'm back.
Setup, right? Finding great shockwaves without an easy ball delivery system, finding really good charms, and the reason we thought, hey, this is a tougher draft is because there is no obvious pairing to actually set up for the charms, right? Yes, there is the Rel later on, but generally people play it with like Jarvan or Vi or easy setup to get that kind of point and click charm out of it. But he was just hitting everything, and I do feel like, you know, it's not just Jojo, obviously. Every player had moments that were really strong, you know, throughout the series, but it's just going to be a question of, like, can you all bring it together and all hit those high highs in the same game? Like, Mirwin, I thought, had a really weak first 2 games, great final game. You know, we saw those moments, and we just have to see, you know, if they can make it happen in the next series.
Yeah, and then the other thing for me is just, again, their early game, right? Like, I think that's a big thing that they're going to have to end up working on going forward, like you said, Isaac, if they are going to be able to punch up against more formidable looking teams thus far.
Vi was outdamaged by Leona.
That's rough. But yeah, I think there are still a lot of things that they will want to shore up there, right? Because I did think Wales, outside of that initial really good start that they then ended up punting in game 1, Wales did get the better of them several times in the early game.
Generating good drafts also, right? Except for maybe that last game, you were very happy with MKOI's draft, so that can be a strong point for them.
I really liked their draft.
As I see that Jojo's getting touched up, and he should be here momentarily. Just talking to everybody. Ari Charm here. Ari Charm there. That's how it goes. There he is. Woo! Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, you're UPPO player of the series. Congratulations. Welcome to the Verizon post-game interview.
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. I think after game 1, I could feel that me and the whole team were just nervous, but I knew if we played our normal self, it was a very free series. So I think the most important was for us to calm down. I think we did a really good job at just calming down and playing our own game. So I'm glad we were able to show that.
How did you feel about your own individual performance throughout the series? Because I know coming off MSI, you got to play at home, but you obviously were a little bit disappointed with how that went. Here today, I felt like all 3 games, you were killing it for the team. Even in the loss, you were kind of like the hope to come back. You know, you were finding shockwaves without setup. I felt like you were really on it today. Did it feel for you like things were really clicking?
Yeah, I felt very in flow today. I don't know. I just, like, we're 1 and 2, so if we lose, we go home, of course. But I found a lot of comfort in that sense because it's very fun and exciting. So I think I really just enjoyed playing today because, I mean, I really want to stay, to be honest. I'm having a blast at this Worlds, and I want to keep improving with the team. So, yeah, I really didn't want to lose today. I wasn't going to make us lose no matter what, so.
Yeah, we saw you come out with, I knew as soon as I saw the Ari, I was like, oh yeah, that's a JoJo comfort staple in the elimination game. I did have to ask a little bit about some of your early games, especially in game 1. Ended up being a little shaky. I know that's something you guys have all said you really want to improve. So how would you rate that today and then going forward into the rest of the tournament?
Yeah, I think early game we weren't coordinated in game 1. Like, I think the Drake start, if we're coordinated, is a good dragon, but I think we just all weren't on the same page. So I think we made some adaptations later in the games to make it easier, but for sure we want to improve on that. I think we've shown so much improvement on that in scrims, so we didn't really get to show it today, but it might be a good thing because the team we verse next might think we're, you know, not too good at early game, and then we just come very coordinated and very clean. So I think it's one of our strongest point in scrims. So. Yeah.
That's the dream, of course, looking forward. I think a lot of people will have watched this series and not have too much faith, honestly, in Movistar Core because of some of the teams that you could face
like
in the
T1,
2-2.
BLG.
Yeah,
I mean, if we were side quest, it's pretty free. I'm hoping for
You're NA. Let's calm down a little bit.
I mean, I just want to verse Flag Quest. I think it's going to be super exciting because it feels weird. You know, I'm NA, like you said, but I'm playing in a European team versus an NA team. I don't think I've versed the NA team yet this year so far in Europe, so I think it'll just be very exciting.
You did them well.
It's beautiful as an NA fan because for years, when an NA team would win, the Europeans would claim them as European because of the imports. So now, NA really is the 1-2-1 today.
Oh
exactly. I would say NA.
My favorite LCS team. My favorite LCS team.
This is just feeding into us.
It is my favorite LCS team, too.
See, we're on the same page.
Oh my gosh.
He's UPPO player of the series.
Carrying a whole region, one-player region.
That's all you need. You just need one Canadian.
That easy.
That's that easy.
It's the Canadian connection. I did have to ask, today is Supa's birthday, and he fulfilled his death wish, right, of winning on his birthday.
But he died a lot, is that what you mean?
No. I was going to ask what they're doing for him later.
Death wish.
DEFT.
Oh, I heard Death Wish, too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was confused. But
what are you guys doing for Supa's birthday?
I mean,
well, you already gave him a gift.
Yeah.
We already gave him a gift. I'm really glad. I mean, for sure, the enemy team really tried to target Supa on his birthday. It was kind of crazy. It was for sure their game plan going to game 1. We have a joke about like Fnatic really likes to target the ball in. I think today they also really wanted to target the ball in. I think it was clear. So yeah, they didn't want to make Supa's birthday happy, but we tried our best to help that. We're gonna get him a cake for sure after the series and celebrate.
Nice. That's cool. Good vibes to end up with. Congratulations, Jojo.
Thank you.
We'll see.
Happy
of course,
for you, man. Keep killing it.
I hope you get that FlyQuest matchup. I really
I hope
do.
so too.
That would be
so
amazing.
They win either way, then.
It is. We're gonna head over to a quick break, but when we come back, it's Gen.G versus TES for a spot in the quarterfinals.
Good shit, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shadowing Strike, immediately they dive onto target, and the Eclipse is not enough to save him! The Redemption not down in time, he does land the Solar Flare. Spirit Rush dive in with a killing streak from Eddie as well, but Eliora's on the chase, trying to take down that Kai'Sa, and the Darking Daggers will be enough. The Hounds of Hell from Eliora for the double. MKOI collapse.
I told you I was done with basic browsers.
I don't know, KOI fans are so sad. They are so pathetic. It's crazy, by the way. I just want to loop you guys in. Look. It's like... What is it about... It's such blatant tribalism that it's so pathetic, you know? Because obviously, anyone remotely, like anyone remotely, like with a brain, right? Anyone remotely with a brain knows that their CEO had a shit take, right? And anyone remotely with a brain that is watching these games can see that KOI's level was fucking trash in this, right? This is one of the worst series of Super ever. And it's like, that's it, you know? That's it. And then they light the beacon, you know? They light the beacon. They light the beacon. Who cares if it's a stomp or not? Never understood this angle in sports. Huh? What the hell? I'm sucking Kado's dick because their CEO is a dumbass and super played like ass. That's crazy, bro. But there's a world. Bro, there's a world where they lose 2-0 today, bro. Yeah, of course. Like showing a strong showing today, especially like with the matchup, is important. You know, it's important. These are like they are so brain dead, bro. I don't know. It's crazy. It's like even in a case where I didn't go to Worlds or did go to Worlds, I'm a KOI fan outside as a joke. Sorry, Amaro. Yeah, of course. It's like I think most people that are on Twitter, they are not normal, right? It's okay. I don't think it's like a whole KOI thing, but plain and simple. It's like, even in a world where I didn't go to Worlds or didn't go to Worlds, what does that have to do? It's like, are they claiming that Super played good? It's like, was today's good showing good? Is that the copium? So that's the copium. It's really not that deep. Look, they think it's a gotcha. It's really funny. To me, I still think it's bad. I still think today's performance was very, very bad, bro. Being on Twitter is like being content with going into a cage full of monkeys who throw their shit at each other. Yeah. It's silliness, bro. It is what it is. I'm hyped for this matchup, though. Bro, Tobispos has played well into Genji. Many times. They played well into them many times. Obviously not this particular roster because never faced off against each other, but it's been solid.
Today, in the featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz, Keen and 369 face off in a duel of top lane powerhouses. Korea versus China. After years of grinding with the Afrika Freaks, Keen rebuilt his legacy. first helping transform KT into title contenders, then becoming Gen G's core strength, finally earning his first LCK title. He now has 2 LCK titles, 2 MSI titles, and is aiming for the ultimate title, World Champion. 369 once the prodigious upstart of
So on your
China
point about
was
Super
crowned
Alpha,
the
remember that
best
one
top
time when you were a
laner
kid
in the
and told
world
that you weren't
during
going to play
GG's
games with computers and
The
doing
recent
homework, but actually played the
inconsistency
single? What's
over
he
the
saying in
last few
defense?
years has left
Nothing, bro.
gaps.
Caught.
He's out to prove that he can still be the best.
The Aatrox keeping everybody distracted now, but he's got to be careful. The Aatrox won't die fast enough. Sterix Gage pops to keep him alive. Broken Blade is already down. Everybody on G2 is eviscerated.
Will Kane's precision and discipline lead Gen G into the quarterfinals, or will 369 roll high once again and reclaim his throne?
Welcome back to Worlds 2025, where we are here with what is likely to be a barn burner of a series. Gen G versus Top Esports.
Little JDG reunion in the mix here. This should be a super fun one. Gen G, the reigning MSI champions, the back-to-back. Here to see if they can do it at Worlds.
In the Jingdong arena as well, of all places for this reunion to be happening, but this should be an absolute banger. Gen G looking like the best team coming into Worlds, now find themselves an opportunity to move forward in towards the quarterfinals, whereas for Top Esports, looking to not only take down the Korean top seeds, but take down their demons and push themselves into the quarterfinals themselves.
Top Esports so often known as the
Big game. Come on now.
Collapses at internationals, that collapses at Worlds. This time they have not been that, but after going 2-0 up, they then lose to KT 2-0 in relatively convincing fashion for KT. And Gen G on the other side lost to anyone's legend. So we have both these teams having lost to the other region, wanting a little bit of redemption for themselves. The question is, who will claim it in this quarter-final qualifying series?
There's a huge amount on the line for both sides. The fact, I mean, the top lane matchup is insane. You got the jungle matchup is insane. You got Ruler versus Jackie Love. There are so many matchups across the board here that I'm just so excited to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, world champions playing against each other in the bottom lane. Super hyped to see how that one does play out. I feel like Ruler is in just incredible form this year and really has been.
Have you seen the CS community go on fire? Yeah, I saw it.
We'll see if Top Esports can stand up to Gen G, who once again
I need to look in.
Another international tournament as the big favorites to win.
I'm just low-key distracted by this. I'm trying to think of a good comeback.
We know that they can claim those titles. They've won it back-to-back, for goodness sake. But when it comes to Worlds, there always seems to be this small thorn in their side, this small Lego brick that they stand on and they tumble over.
T1.
It is T1. It's often T1. I'll agree with that. But Gen G, for a team that so often has promised...
What is the reason for the skin bubble collapse? They made it so you can combine 5 red guns to a knife. You can trade up. Don't read the Twitter comments, never worth it. No, I'm thinking about a comeback. I want to fight.
Carry early game versus Canyon. Canyon has been a bit slow in the early stages, and Kanavi has just shown so brightly. If there is, an angle for TES to go for, I think it has to be get your lanes ahead, get some winning matchups here in draft, then play for early game, play for jungle domination, and try and take Gen G down that way.
I mean, Kanavi still has 100% first blood rate. This guy has been absolutely insane in the early stages and has been finding picks like the Jarvan.
What is this draft zone, bro? What happened?
Kiana is going to be the jungler that is focused here from Gen G, and a lot of respect put onto that from the LCK towards the LPL jungle.
Yeah, I was listening to some of Nymira's streams when I was waiting to come to Worlds, and he was talking about how he thinks Kanavi is often the best Kiana in the world. So I'm not really too surprised that Gen G decide to get rid of it here against Kanavi. Orianna, the final ban alongside Ambessa and Wukong from Top Esports, Azir, Yanara, and Kiana, the bans from Gen G. So where are we looking for first pick?
Well, we have a lot of like Ryze and Talia both open. A lot of possible picks here. Interesting going for the Vi so early
Vi
on.
first
the
pick.
Point and click though.
Canyon out of all people.
Can work its way into a lot of
Sion is open.
It opens up 369 to go for the Sion
What is
pick
this
here,
Genji
but we know
draft?
that Trundle is not
What are we
going
doing, bro?
towards the jungle, and potentially even to take a Trundle for yourself on the opposite side. So I really like
This is probably the worst time to sell your knife, brother.
369 has been fantastic on this pick for so many years.
Yeah, so often a person that you
Best
look
time to sell your
in that top lane
red skin,
to
so.
be a rock, to be a foundation,
I don't know, we just first pick Vi to give the freest sign of all time.
369, more often than not rolling the nines
Are we
these
picking
days.
Ryze for Cream?
A few threes
He's
that
7-1 on
sneak
it.
in there from time to time. Sion his lock. We'll see where they decide to go. Expect Top Esports to look towards perhaps a jungle pick here.
Xin Zhao could be nice for Kanavi too. Okay, they prioritize Aurora. People just like Aurora over Ryze, I
It
guess.
is Aurora, so it'll be Cream
Okay.
locking that in for the mid lane.
All right, getting some burst damage for themselves, some flank possibilities here. Genji answer. What are we going to get into the sign? We've seen a couple of different answers. You know, and Mbessa was the most
Our
popular.
knives is going to
Rek'Sai
zero?
and Cassante are the other kind of like tanks into it. Rek'Sai has been pretty funny.
Everyone's panic selling, bro.
Flandra has been like the one that deserves to be able to play Rek'Sai. We've had a lot of other top
This is
laners
not a good time
flopping
to sell.
with the champion, but Keen is definitely a top laner you can trust.
Exactly, and I think it does provide good follow-up for the Vi, right? You hit that Prey Seeker onto someone who was locked up by the Vi after everyone's been scattered to the four corners, and
Okay.
make sure that you're able
Trade
to
Rex
get that
aside.
live potential. Alongside the Talia being able to spread out the fights, this feels like Genji already setting up for a very strong team fight, but now with the Xin Zhao on top esports side, it's going to be answered just as evenly.
Yeah, the instant answer. I love Xin into Vi usually because you can have a lot of priority and a lot of early skirmishes versus champion. It allows your team to make a lot of those choices towards some of the early stages of these objectives. Let's see about those bottom lanes, about those world champs that will be going head-to-head down there, though. Dive comps are definitely on the table, so you think like Kai'Sa, and then the other side, you want to do like, oh, are we going to have counter dive? And so for those types of combinations, I guess the Kai'Sa won't be the option this time around. Then you have like Xayah possibilities, you know, Spell Shield possibilities for Sivir. Let's see what we end up with.
Sivir and Kai'Sa are the first two bans. I will quickly come back to the point about trusting Keen on this Rek'Sai. I think he has leveled up a lot since last year, but he's only played it twice, both of it against T1 last spring, and he lost both games. So he has definitely evolved a lot as a top laner since then, and I do trust him. I think he's one of the best top laners in the world, probably the best at the moment, at least in terms of adaptability, but it has only been Flandra who's actually being able to pick up wins on this Rek'Sai so far.
One of the things I do trust in this Genji side is Duro if he can get his hands on a Poppy, because at the moment Poppy has been fantastic at this tournament, and at least looking at top esports,
What is the previous world meta?
Another engage tool for Hong to try and round out this composition. Plus it's been the
I think 2023 was fun, but 2018 probably.
If you end up with a Poppy on the opposite side,
I think I like it. I think it's fun with solo laners so strong. I don't care too much about AD carries.
on this Zinza.
AD carries can play Xayah, Kai'Sa, and sit in the corner.
Because we were talking about how he's been sick across the last few days, hasn't really been able to have the performances he'd like. His coaching staff is saying he's getting better now. We expect him to be able to really perform, but I think so far at this Worlds, Hong hasn't shone in the way you'd expect.
I kind of like Top Esports draft, guys.
And they ban away his, you know, possible counter engage with Renata.
Top Esports draft is kind of nice. Chovy on Talia is a monster though.
In the end,
So hard to predict. It's like you never want to predict against Genji, regardless of what they draft.
does a lot pretty well universally, and a takeaway from Ruler.
Top East was the last time we saw them play was against Katie, and they didn't look so good.
Where are you looking, Genji? AD carrying in support. Lucian, the current hover for Ruler.
We're gonna see the random fucking Nami on 5. Nami on 5 angle.
And there's the Brawl to go alongside it.
Yeah, and I mean, even when we saw Ruler play this at Worlds, was getting these massive CS leads over his opposition just off of the laning alone. So very, very comfortable on it, especially alongside the Braum. Now it looks like Hung going to end up opting in towards the Nico, looking to put a little bit of pushback against this Lucian Braum early power, and set up nicely for that engage tool that we were looking for Top Esports.
Yeah, Top Esports last time around, and you kind of talk about him being sick a little, but he did not have the best Nico game, so See if this one can be a bit better. Again, it is not going to be a very easy one. You've got Taliyah, Rox, and Braum to worry about when you're navigating for these engages, so you really do have to be on point. You have to synergize with Cream to get these engages. The Aurora plus the Nico have to be working together, and when they had the Annie plus the Nico, they failed almost every engage that they tried to go for as a team.
Hong did not have the best of times on this Nico, and I agree with you. I think these have been the two of the players that have been taking a lot of the scrutiny on this team, so we'll have to see if Top Esports now can try and perform, especially on home turf here against, for some of the players, their former teammates. It would be a massive statement for the LPL to be able to take down the LCK first seed.
Also just a really big statement for Top Esports at this tournament. So far they've beaten G2 and 100 Thieves. And I'm gonna be honest, like G2 day one did not look good. Top Esports looked great. 100 Thieves, although they can challenge, aren't known as the
I think draft-wise, Red Side has won here.
And then you look at
but is it enough? Is it enough? Top East was the type of team to do better against when they're the underdog. Last time we saw, like in the series against KT, I don't know, Top East was so bad, so I don't know what to expect, honestly.
Especially if you look at the last year and a half, MSI 2024 lost 3-0 to G2 and then immediately lost to T1. Then a first stand, they lose to HLE, they lose to Carmine Corp, they lose to CFO and groups and don't even make it out of the bloody thing. So for Top Esports, they really do want to do themselves justice in China and show what the LPL is capable of.
We see the early swap coming out here from Jackie Love. Team WE that first did this year, at least it has been something we've seen throughout the course of League of Legends history, but it actually looks like Jackie Love is now going to path down towards the bot side, and I see him moving up towards mid. I expect that he'll end up just going back down towards the bot, so we'll have the normal lane assignments.
Got Genji with Steel Skin.
We'll see if they can get any sort of early brush play here. Hung was so early that he got the ward into second brush on the lane really early on, so we'll see. There's definitely a lot of burst potential in Corki and Nico, and trying to get that advantage over the Braum lane from the level 1 could be big. They do have a sweeper here.
Able to get rid of that vision. Having a double range does really help, and you talked about it a little bit as we got through the draft, Rob. It's a JDG 2023 reunion in the JDG Stadium, a team that was on the Golden Road, and Knight helping carry the team through the MSI 23, but they weren't quite able to cross that finish line and make it to the World's Finals, got knocked out in 20.
I have faith in Top East was getting ahead, but I don't have faith in them winning a game.
Kanavi and Ruler now all meeting back
start
up on the stage where they dominated the LPL 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was incredibly heartbreaking.
Gonna take a piss, be right back. Sorry.
Everyone expected them to be able to go the distance.
I don't know. Top East can definitely win this.
Incredible team fighting with guys like 369 being able to provide frontline on picks like the Scion, and Ruler just being a menace in the team fights alongside Knight. But unfortunately, we're not able to do so, and now they find themselves on opposite sides of the rift with Kanavi there as well. It feels like for Top Esports to get one back against their former teammate would be huge.
Yeah, I feel like those players all still have very close bonds. I love listening to interviews where they're talking about coming back to the JDG arena and the emotions that they feel because of it, and all the work that they had put in together. Now, of course, as you say, on opposite sides, and Ruler pushed under tower early on, as expected from the Corki and Nico lane down here, getting priority.
But just really good harassment as well from the Top Esports bot lane, getting the barrier and the heal out of Genji early on. Duro on his Braum, 22-7 all time, but early game into a Nico and Corki, you do expect to have to absorb some of this pressure. The question is whether we'll see a punish. With Kanavi on the bottom side of the map, I think he is just going to go for the scuttle cap and a little bit of vision. You can see Genji think there's a possibility, place a ward in the tri-bush to make sure that they're not susceptible to that gank.
Yeah, just want to make sure that they're able to get some nice little poke damage back as well with Ruler, but Kanavi just wants to get the ward, get the crab, and look for a reset himself. So at the moment, it is going to be relatively quiet in these early stages, and honestly, I think if I'm junglers, I'm eyeing up more towards this mid lane to see exactly
my room smells
what
like
we
food.
can achieve, because
all right, guys, let's look in. It's Worlds. I need to be mindful.
Here's the possible dive.
Holy, Keen is fucking... Look at Keen CS top side. What the fuck is happening?
Some of these minions as well. Winter Spite onto Jacula. Duro the target. Kanavi is going to be looking to try and get the damage down onto Duro. Hung with a great tower and a juggle on the cannon.
Alright.
Kanavi and Jacula.
Top esports. Top esports.
But it's a plate, it's a kill, it's everything Top esports wanted.
Everything they wanted.
About Nico.
Bro, Top esports draft is juicy, guys. Very juicy. Very, very juicy. I have zero faith in Canyon on Vi in his current form.
It's Braum, you know,
zero faith.
This is going to be super dangerous, but not necessarily true if you can turn into a cannon. And Hong here is able to get the aggro.
Don't worry, Jackie will flash and supply people soon.
And even the concussion, or the concussive stacks, that it would just be too difficult, especially with Ruler playing so far back. But Hong, you just tank so many shots, it does not matter. And Duro even burning the flash, hoping that he'd be able to survive long enough, but it is the prowess of that Nico on the dives.
The important thing about that is you might wonder why Nico isn't taking that much damage. If you're a cannon minion, you don't get the ramping damage that a champion would in that case, which allows Hong...
When is I think they should fix that, yeah. I think it's a little bit stupid. Like, why are you inheriting this? Why are you inheriting some passives? Like, what are we doing? Like, it's an item. I think the cannon mini has an item. Let's see the spells. Let's see the spells. The spells. Oh, spells! The flash. Holy Jacula with a W forward. Is he cooked? Oh!
Just in time to survive the Gatling gun coming out. Hung. A couple more auto attacks on him.
Oh my lord.
Genji turning on the bot side. Winners by
Jackie
Love there from Genji.
Jackie Love, relax, bro.
The start was so good for Top esports. Ruler was set so far behind, but in the 2v2, Ruler gets a kill back and immediately undoes so much of the work Top esports set up on that bottom side.
Keen has ult reset as well. This looks like a free kill, guys.
Top side can be a little bit risky. Flash in from Keen, bow breaker from Canyon. Not risky at all, it seems. Perfectly juggled by Genji.
Alright.
Top side pressure.
I don't know, Keen is just completely fisting the top matchup. He's completely fisting the top matchup. Is this how it's supposed to go?
Finish the job. Keen did flash.
Or is Keen just Keen?
But honestly,
Keen is Keen. But
with the tunnel network
like Sion versus Rek'Sai, I don't know how that matchup is supposed to go actually.
Frustrating to go after the champion. Sion ult does hit though.
I mean, Keen's going to get knocked up here. We'll look to try and put another tunnel down. Was trying to play that plate, and I believe did manage to pick it up before tunneling away. Kanavi, meanwhile, starting up this Drake. Has hit level 6, while Canyon still only level 5. Needs a couple more minions to get over to that 6 mark. But I think Canyon will realize can't really fight this one. Dragon over to Top esports.
Yeah, not going to be able to mess with his in and pushing bottom lane as well for TES. The saving grace for the bottom lane for TES there, of course. Jackie didn't die, and they already had the minion advantage from denial under turret. And so Jackie still remains with a lot of extra CS here, and both of them getting the kill credit does mean very, very formidable.
Chovy chunking out Kanavi, who just walks around the corner, tries to avoid the seismic shove, can't do so. Pulled back into the unraveled earth. Duro dives forward and then pops the unbreakable to make sure he doesn't take too much damage in response.
Yeah, I'm curious how much pressure we're going to see from Top esports in towards the mid lane. Nice job by Cream to manage to escape away from that. But one of the things we saw from AL was a huge amount of focus on moving members to the mid lane and trying to target Chovy. And I thought that might have been kind of the...
Yeah, Ruler is a rookie player that they found in China. It's incredible now how good he is. This is rookie season.
I'm wanting to try and play through the 2v2 for his strength. Hasn't been able to make it towards mid yet.
Kanawe. A little bit of poke, but it's Kanawe.
There's a big wave here. They could have chunked out Keen, perhaps.
Look, 369 is getting so fisted. Is this just a matchup, guys?
Rek'Sai so good at maintaining her health bar through fights like this. Canyon waiting as the grubs have begun by Top esports.
I think you can do it. If there's objectives coming up. Alright, Nico's coming. That's an E from Braum. He's maxing E for sure. He's so tanky. Okay, nice ult from Cream. Nice ult from Cream. I don't know why that the ult target selection. Ult target selection is very, very bad. Keen oh, he was flashing the dive. Damn, Keen gets out. That's the Nexus Exploder, lads. That's the Nexus Exploder. Nice. We were hopeful about Top esports for a solid 4 minutes. Solid 4 minutes.
Oh, the skirmish from Genji. What? They get out alive.
Gen G is a little bit too clean.
Survives, and in the end, they will get
That's crazy that King gets out.
Scrubs. They will get the credit towards
I thought that the Viol was so bad onto Cream because he obviously CC immuned it with ult. And then Chovy just did so much damage with his Silk Shoes.
But it doesn't matter. Their Gen G were able to collapse so well.
Look at that. Emax, Cream starts basic attacking, and then Canyon ults, and then we get the ult on the return. Then 369. I think Hung just misuses his spells, right? Because he could have rooted Keen there off with the CC, and then Chovy gets a W on 2.
And this Braum is getting so much value with everyone grouped up.
I don't think that's really a narrative, Milas. I think age is irrelevant in esports. I think it's just what have you done with your time.
Gen G come out so far ahead of
like if someone starts pro like at 25, yeah, they're not gonna make it. But if like if you were insane at 17 years old, if you were 17, let's say if you were 17 when you started playing and you had like great success, yeah, then probably you can play till 30, you know, like depending on the circumstance.
We no longer have the flash for Kanavi and Cream, a 2,000 gold lead for Gen G, 10 minutes into this game, and it's just the teamfight execution from Gen G was
it's all about just how you use your years, you know.
Exactly what their job was as Keen continues to trade with 369 up towards this top side.
It's one of the things that really added a lot of survivability to Rek'Sai. Honestly, because I was spamming at jungle, I was hoping it wouldn't get too big of a thing and wouldn't get a big spotlight, so everyone starts playing it. But being able to set the W
Root dash forward, Duro doesn't use it, spells kind of slow.
Allows you way more escape angles, and Keen really nicely played that fight, saving it and using it to get out.
Alright, let's see the Canyon ult. They didn't spot him? What the fuck?
He was on vision.
He was on vision, yeah. Could be sports question mark. Yeah, Chovy Talia is just inhuman. Like, I said that in the most... Oh shit, Duro might die here, guys. Jackler with the W forward. Oh, the Canyon!
Canyon goes down in the dive! It's a 2-for-1 to top esports. The collapse coming in from Kanavi as Rula has flash and barrier to try and get away from this, and should be able to dash out with that relentless pursuit. Chovy looking for a gank up towards the top side, won't materialize for him, and in the end, top esports coming out on top in that dive.
Jackie Love, Valkyrie's forward, and I thought it was going to be a complete disaster with those concussive
Valkyrie damage no matter what.
But they're just about able to get the kill onto
Gen G are not really not in their LCK form. Gen G's LCK form was not that great.
Yeah, we get a bloodbath and we get a bit of comedy as well in the bottom lane. Honestly, you know, Canyon going in here, but look at Jackie, he deletes the minion wave. So then Canyon gets caught in tower aggro by Hung. Really good heads-up play by Jackie to delete the minion wave, and then Jackie's like, okay, we got a great lockup. And so he goes all in, ends up being 2-for-1 in favor of TES in a fight that was 3v1 in favor of Gen G, and them being the ones to try and force it.
Top esports will be happy enough to have got something out of that bot side. While we're in that replay, and Ocean Drake was taken for Gen G. Gold down from 2k lead for the LCK #1 seed to about 1,000. Still the leads for top esports are only in that bottom lane. 600 gold on the AD carry, 700 on your support, whereas the top side of the map, all blue on the bottom of your scoreboard.
And a lot of this, again, has kind of been Canyon having a fantastic game here. He's been a little bit out of it when it came towards some of the matchups against AL. It felt like Tarzan was able to get the better of him in that series, or in that game. But this time around, in this series thus far against top esports, he has been everywhere in the early stages. And now they can use his
I'm not sure why Kanavi went Titanic actually.
Try and lock down this core key, see if they can play with the Cullings on Lucian.
It's a very, very good... during this window, I do think that the red side comp is very strong. Like when Aurora finishes her item. It's gonna be late because CS-wise she's getting kind of cooked. This Trinity Force window, first item window of Silence and Zhao, I think they're really, really strong. I think when Chovy has his first item. We're back.
Step down and clear out a bit of vision around there, even just setting up the tunnels for himself for a possible Rift Herald play.
Yeah, I don't know. I prefer Rise over Aurora. I don't know what this Aurora obsession is. I feel like people are afraid of bad win ratio champions, you know?
Already earned 3 turret plates on top side.
Okay.
Diving in here, can he have to jump away? Unstoppable also being used. Keen looking for the demolish.
Keen just doing the Renekton thing.
Get it, but the minion wave actually not in range for him.
Holy baby Keen.
Bites away at that
2 grubbies. Holy damn, he just calculates damage like that, bro.
As I said, he gets the Rek'Sai pass. He can play it here at Worlds as well.
Apparently having 2 eyes in the middle of your name rather than 1 allows you to play that Rek'Sai well into the Scion. If you only have 1 in the middle, sometimes you get caught.
Which is hilarious because she's blind.
True. Keen having a really good performance.
Fucking Nagna.
Overall, I think a lot of people will
That's good jokes. Some good jokes.
But I think Keen and Juro have actually been the most consistent carries for me for this team. Keen especially with his jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife style. You can put him into any role and he really fulfills that without losing the impact that a tank player would have if they were playing a carry top lane. He seems to be able to do everything well.
Yeah.
Genji lane phase is just a little bit imbalanced, I think.
Since the build is this bruiser build, where you go Titanic into Sojin, you actually have a decent amount of damage, you have a decent amount of backline threat, but still quite tanky and very annoying for opponents to deal with. Even with Hung up here with 369, it doesn't matter. Keen can go very, very aggressively, keep on pushing, and that tower has been whittled so low by his efforts that it poses a very big threat as far as speeds. I mean, Canyon
it's a nice CC spread on blue side.
Dive in by Ruler, immediately gets the culling down, but not the concussive blows. Pop Blossom out of Hung. Only finds it onto Ruler with Redemption coming down. Ruler
what the fuck?
In time.
What is the people doing?
Started by Genji while all of this was happening. Ruler merely a distraction in the mid lane.
Oh my lord.
Wanted that Herald.
And this is exactly how you want to try and use this Lucian, especially alongside the Braum.
That's terrible.
Sure you can get the concussive blow stacks, get the slow.
That's gonna be an ugly series.
And now Rift Herald immediately in towards the mid lane. Genji are taking no prisoners.
Yeah, honestly, this is a masterclass from Genji. Ruler and Duro, they push Jackie out so hard. Wait a second.
Jumps onto Duro.
Alright. Okay, big ult from Cream. Cream flash.
Re-engage from Genji, perfect! As they dive in with the cease and desist, Jackie Love can't survive. The onslaught of Keen and Canyon, a seismic shove, buries top esports.
Alright. Okay, Genji, fastest game at Worlds for Pick'em. Fastest game at Worlds for Pick'ems.
Runs away from the fight.
Fastest game at Worlds for Pick'em. Do it.
TES right now. It is
fastest game at Worlds Pick'em. Please.
Hung using the
begging
to go for that play onto Ruler.
Begging.
Then the Nico was left without flash afterwards, and Genji just destroyed them in the fight.
Yeah, and then even here,
begging.
Play, but unfortunately, this milk was spoiled as he ends up sending himself straight into the back line.
Look at Cream.
To do nothing. Ruler's just there to immediately get the follow-up, and all it does is bait in members like Kanavi, who end up falling down. You've got 369 who's TPing miles away.
My lord.
And Genji, I mean, says it all right there.
And it's a different fight.
GG.
To use that to make sure Ruler doesn't kill off your AD carry. Perhaps Top Esports can turn it, but now 17
Duro, Emax. Nice. Bromas. Just alla Sultany.
This is a demolition from the LCK.
Nice. Zinza combo, Aurora combo.
Left reeling. They're trying to find a way back into this game, but the windows are rapidly closing on them as Hong goes for
Hong.
Blossom onto 3.
Alright.
And perhaps that's it.
Alright, Top Esports.
Ruler trying to get away.
It's not enough. Cream dies. And now we're here. Oh, Wind becomes lightning. Ruler dodges.
In the end,
ooh, max range W doesn't reach.
Cut off an incredible Pop Blossom. It's still a 2 for 2.
And the Dragon is still going to Genji. They chase down Cream on the back of the fight. And while everyone at Top Esports is looking mid lane, it's Genji with their eyes on the prize.
Yeah, we're only 17
I thought Top Esports would at least play one good game, you know?
Shutdowns are on the map.
I thought they'd be like, game one, they open up, play good, and then when they realize they could maybe win, then they lose.
It really would have been egg on their face. But Hung does start it out, gets the 3-person Nico ultimate, even though he didn't have Flash or Proto Belt. And so you think, oh, it's going to be really, really good for TES. Ruler creates a lot of space flashing to the other side, and so you can see Canyon and Keen are
Keen
able
is
to
just the
chase
best Rek'Sai in the world too,
on the
yeah.
other side, and Keen coming up with that double kill.
They just spent so much time trying to chase.
Is there a top lane champ?
Barely escaped. They bought everything that Gen G needed. And it feels like even when you get a
Chinese fans are suffering as fuck, bro. Is Keen just the best player in the world? I rated him the best player in the world coming into this world, yeah. I think so, yeah.
And that top lane turret.
Yeah, and they've got some fed solo lanes. Chovy and Keen both with 2,000
Hung thought Proto Build buys out of Kindle Gem.
Stacking up for Chovy as
he sold it.
So he's got the
ain't no way.
Power there. I mean,
Bro, did you see what happened?
The Kindle Gem?
Yeah. Heavy like 5-person play out of fog of war.
Ah, bro.
Isn't this a massive draft gap?
It is, bro. It is.
I feel like
but bro, they are losing every matchup so hard. It's crazy. How are they losing against Lucian, bro?
I mean, yeah, they're up 20 CS and they get a dive, and they somehow can lose.
Is this the matchup top that Sion is like 20 Cs behind and dive? Yeah.
And I guess for top esports, the one saving grace is you got a Mountain Drake earlier on. It's not an
Tom Rubery.
Gen G, but 3 minutes away will be that soul point. Artican up in 20 seconds, and Gen G just ruling the Rift right now. Dura able to step forward here, not really too afraid of top esports. Ruler will be waiting for his flash to come back up, still about a third of the cooldown on that, so doesn't want to step up too far on his lonesome.
And it's also against Gen G, who are not exactly a team that is known for throwing games, so it is a little tough when you want to come into this. And again, the early control from
what do you think of the no FF rule in competitive? Bro, I don't even think that's explicitly a rule. It's just like, bro, it's just a really bad look. Like, you're getting stage time for your sponsors. I think it's just like, it's one of those things that is implied that you're not allowed to do.
Because top esports are looking like it. They want to try and return the favor.
As far as I know, I've never read in the fucking rule book that you're not allowed to FF.
Just weave that wall away to safety. Dura caught out a little bit with Blooming Burst, but
They do it in Dota, well, that's kind of irrelevant to this topic.
Advancing in 2 lanes at the same time, top and bot their current targets. Keen stealing away jungle camps whenever he can, just to make Kanavi that ever so slight bit weaker. Try and get rid of all the standing gold that top esports could find for themselves. Duro TP's back in. You can see
The only role that is said is made a donation to Boris.
They're going to use Ruler to push out mid, and then he can move up and join up with the rest.
Crazy.
It makes sense because there's an Artican here. It's the only neutral objective up for the next.
Actually crazy.
All of top esports back, and won't be an immediate start. It will, in fact, from Gen G.
Oh, you cracked me up today, chat. Alright, they're just leashing it. Clean and mean. Probiswoods as TP on Sion. But no life.
Again, just continue to add to this lead.
Look at Duro. He just stands. He's like, hey, you want to get anywhere near? You have to walk through me. And through me is also through a seismic shove as Gen G look for the engage. Keen with a perfect bang. The Pop Blossom's only going to find
Bomba
the
clot.
Not enough. Crescent Guard from Kanavi won't keep him alive.
GG.
Ruler, the dash back from Cream.
Gen G, please win Worlds. I'm begging you, bro. Gen G, please. Win Worlds, Gen G, please.
Show this on your screens. Gen G.
Please just win Worlds.
5-0 ace at 22 minutes.
If you don't lose, if you don't win Worlds, I swear, I don't know.
That is Gen G absolutely.
I don't know what I will say, bro.
Losing no one, face tanking towers in the aftermath.
The fact that they're still able to tank towers just says how poorly
it's
that
due to Adnan.
Gen G,
Anat is going to stop
so
Gen G.
Well. Jackie Love caught on the bottom side of this wall, and then on the top they're putting pressure.
They would have to face 100 Thieves would have to be in semi-finals, bro.
They immediately take separate targets. And 369 just isn't able to pick a side that he wants to try and fight on. You cannot be losing.
Baby pig, the plus 0.5.
Jackie Love is diving for safety and is saying, please,
plus 0.5.
Save me. But there is no savior here.
Ain't no way you went plus 0.5
Top esports
in this matchup.
Run, but nowhere on Summoner's Rift is safe for
they
them.
can draw them as 3-1. Guys, the chance of that happening is extremely low.
With that fight,
very low.
Into 6th place all time in international assists, 1,140.
Man, IG could have played this tournament.
That I think a lot of people saw as the weakest link of Gen G, who was having a struggle of a time during the summer split. This game, and it is only one game, is really showing just how impactful he can be and how well Gen G can play when he gets his lanes ahead, because that's exactly what he's done here. He'll secure the third Drake for them, as well as 369 tries to defend under this tower. The Science tanky, and he'll be able to survive through any damage Gen G put into him right now, but
what a donation.
To keep the tower topped up for too long with another wave coming in.
And we are witnessing why so many people have Gen G as such heavy favorites, you know, coming into this tournament. An absolutely star-studded lineup here, and we're even going to see them continue.
Pop Blossom only going to hit onto Duro. Not able to chase any further as Canyon jumps across the wall with the Bolt Breaker. Duro, Redemption coming down on Supple Onslaught. Won't be enough damage. Duro survives! Duro survives again. You just can't kill him. As Kanavi's caught out by Keen. He's got the Crescent Guard to try and survive, but it's going nada. Jackie
it's end the game. 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 Fastest game of the world. 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 Fastest game of the world.
Potentially end the game, and Baron
bro,
hasn't even
I don't know. I need to get punched in the head, bro. I'm like, Top Esports have a good draft. They can do good in game 1 against Gen G. There's no pressure. There's no pressure, you know. Maybe they can do something.
He dies to a tower as Hung tries to do something.
Under 25?
But Gen G
Lila! Is that the fastest game in the world? Is that fastest game at the Worlds?
The Nexus Tower at the end doing what Top
What is it? What is the fastest game in the world?
Duro there. Gen G making quick work of it. They have, you know, some reservations for later in the day.
Bro, what a donation.
That was a complete stomp.
Yeah, it really was. Incredible. If you're Top Esports, you probably have some reservations about loading
on
for game 2.
Top Esports has just dried me out, bled me out like a pig.
25-minute affair.
And if you're Gen G, you maybe have a dinner reservation. I don't know, Emily.
Yeah, I mean, they got to go somewhere quick. I knew it was I was saying, okay, maybe this series is going to be a 2-0. Did not know it was going to be absolute destruction. I thought Gen G, ever since that AL loss, they
Top Esports is so disappointing, and somehow they managed to still disappoint.
I thought, obviously, we're going to see a lot of team fights where they were so much well-coordinated. But I also thought, especially around 15 minutes, I really loved their Herald take, where they, ult onto Jackie Love, get him super low, or pushing up mid. You see all these little things that they're doing on the map to accelerate their lead, and TES didn't really stand a chance.
They didn't know what hit him
after that 15 minutes, and then afterwards the Herald push after that.
I mean, they blew up the Nexus before the Baron spawned.
Yep.
Yeah. That is one of the most one-sided games we've had all Worlds.
Yeah, it's true, and it all started at that 8-minute mark off Chovy's seismic shove. Flick back for a HyperX reflex replay. It's just a little detail, but it does a lot, and Chovy, when he's angry, he does things like this, of course.
Yeah, and TES think they have the jump on this, right? They're like, oh man, we can kill Keen, but they waste so much on this Rek'Sai, which sets up everything for Chovy right here. Seismic shove. This was where Gen D really started to break open the early game.
I mean, this team is just so terrifying. When Ruler and Chovy are in this kind of form, when Canyon is actually impacting the early game, this team just looks so unbeatable. It is crazy. TES, yes, I mean, I know they have that reputation of, oh, they're chokers, whatever, but it's they always make quarterfinals, they make semifinals, they go far. This is a high-quality team that just got made to look like they were a joke.
Yeah, and you mentioned someone that I'm really glad you brought out, who's Canyon, right? And I've been super critical of Canyon this split. I think he's had a lot of games where he's just kind of AFK farming, and Duro sometimes is kind of making up for it with his roams on the map. I loved how involved he was early on this Vi. I thought he was really, really a huge part of their early game, and I love to see it because we know how good Canyon can be, and that's best jungler in the world.
Yeah, this was 5 seconds off the fastest game at Worlds.
Yep.
And absolute stomp. I mean, Gen G was already way ahead, and then TES kind of made it even easier for them.
They did, as we take a look.
Yeah, exactly. They tried to find this mid lane engage, and it just...
I don't know what Cream was doing. I gotta say, let's take a look.
Cream is the one engaging, unfortunately, for Gen G. I mean, Jackie Love was already chunked out. It's an ill-advised fight regardless. Look at Hong, look at Jackie Love. They're already really low HP.
Yeah, and the way that Gen G had set this up previously is that exact push I was talking about, right? Because they get Jockey Love really low, they're taking Herald at the same time, they push through tier 1, they're pushing towards tier 2, and then, yeah, Cream just saw the angle. It was not the angle.
I mean, he had no spells, and then just R ults in and then flashes past with, like, no QE up and just dies. Like, that was not it.
It looks fun, though.
Yeah.
I don't think he had fun.
Hopping and scooting. But yeah, I think it's just the fact that when they are in a mood like this, we shouldn't use that word, just in a mode like this, I think is a better word to say it.
If Bilby lose the VKs tomorrow, will you shave your balls?
TES feels like they have to jump in here because
Maybe.
that is what it feels like when you're playing versus them because of all these other inquantifiables that they're pushing at the same time.
Yeah, the best teams in the world like Gen G will just force you to make either a bad decision or a worse decision, right? And I think that's also what we saw once this game kind of got out of hand. There were so few good decisions for TES to be able to make, and it's all through that suffocation and that kind of superior map play that Gen G have.
And I was talking about this on the dive, you know, before, where TES, they put themselves in a really great position to start out this tournament, right? And I kind of want to take a look at the bracket if we can and just show basically their journey, right? Because they started out strong, they win the first 2, they get this draw against KT where you're thinking they have a real shot to go 3-0 straight into the bracket. They had a really, really good draw. They drew double Western teams, so let's be honest, like that's, you know, generally the easier teams. They get G2, they got 100 Thieves, they win those both. KT was, by most people's estimation that I had talked to, the weakest of the Eastern teams based on scrims. That's what the pros were telling me. So this is supposed to be a really good draw for them. They get stomped out 2-0, which was surprising to me. Then you draw Gen G. Let's be honest, that's a death sentence. You're probably going to lose that. Now all of a sudden, you're 2-2, assuming they lose this series, which is my expectation. And then you might draw T1 or something like that. And your tournament goes from, oh my god, we're going to get out 3-0 to, wait, I didn't even make quarters.
Yeah, that's what the danger about Swiss is also. When you maybe have a good draw early on, it doesn't necessarily give you more. I say that, and 100 Thieves got a bad draw early.
Wait, what was this?
Still got a bad draw,
What?
Not all draws are created. Swiss is also.
What does this mean? What the? That's just presented so bad. Okay. Huh?
So when you maybe have a good draw early on, it doesn't necessarily give you more. I say that, and 100 Thieves got a bad draw.
So MCOY still have the head on the shoulders? Yeah, they made it through. They made it through.
Not all draws are created equal, but TES will be thinking that as well now. And for the side of Gen G on the other side, I mean, we started off the segment with it, Emily, but the fact that they kind of suffered that loss to AL, and then they had such a convincing game versus T1. It looked more convincing than usually when they beat them even, and then here as well.
Yeah, and I think the best thing that we're seeing out of Gen G, again, we have to think about how this team has performed over the past few years. They've come in as tournament favorites, have kind of fallen before we would have thought, sometimes to their own LCK brethren, sometimes to BLG a few times. But like, nothing but a world championship is like, that's what they need to get, right? Like, this team is very focused. They've been the top or at the top of the world the entire year. That is their goal. I mean, I'm just so glad that Canyon was so involved early, honestly, because that's such a great sign for this team moving forward.
It is. Wait, what a sentence. Nothing but a world championship will do, and maybe they qualify to the quarterfinals here if they beat TES, or hopefully for our Chinese fans in the house today, we see a third. We'll be right back.
We have a new mode for you that we're calling ARAM Mayhem.
It's ARAM, but with augments. It combines all the fun augment-fueled variations of Arena with 5v5 ARAM gameplay.
We want every champion to feel special and get to explore some combinations and fantasies that they don't normally get outside of Arena.
It'll be live with patch 2521, so look forward to some mayhem coming to the bridge soon.
I never tried the ARAM game mode.
one down.
Oh my god, Owen by 9!
You are going to see them like you've never seen them before.
Rocket Will as the Arcane Storm doing so much work, and Gen G, they are just going to ace them.
Yeah, I saw the CS market thing. It's crazy.
Gen G, the EWC winners.
Locking down the Drake is now Doran. Decent position. Double
break down my walls, but I won't rise again. Cause I stand tall in my environment. How could I ever close my eyes and stay silent since they try to take me down with their violence?
Oh, they go back in. Becker flashes in, and down goes Lights.
There's no one to hold me back. By that time it's gone.
Nice. We saw one good play from top esports, and that was Hang turning into a cannon minion. Do we buy call options on Roblox? Think the whole CS community will go over? Wait, you can bake gloves too? It was stupid a day for any human being to invest in game skins. I think it's stupid from I think it's stupid from Valve to fuck up their whole market, because now I think they made so much money on the fact that people speculated on it. So gloves, so you can just get a gold. You can get gloves from the reroll too. I thought you could only get knives. Okay. I think they're just doing it to cover up the fact that Senzu is banned from Mongols.
And we are back for Worlds 2025, where Gen G just dismantled top esports. It wasn't close.
Some people make money off this change. No, it's more about like you've killed your reputation now. So obviously Valve is well within the right to do whatever the fuck they want. But
is that what you call
now there's very little faith.
I mean,
You've killed the faith in your product, you know? And that's a really important thing, a very important detail. People are not going to want to have money in... I think the level of like whales are going to be decreasing because the risk. People are going to be able to reposition. Some people will recover, but now
immediately started to turn back in Gen G's favor. That's what I was going to say. I knew it was
this is crazy.
When they immediately had Hung die like 2 seconds later, and from that point forward, it became a Gen G runaway train. They were not going to stop for nothing. And now Top Esports have to find a way to slam the brakes and hope that they can push it to a game number 3.
Top esports moving over to the blue side for this game 2. We'll ban away the Ambessa and the Wukong, exactly the same as game 1. Gen G sticking with that Kiana. Game 1 they got rid of Yunara and Azir. to round out their bans. We'll see perhaps that Yunara sneaks through. Sometimes she does in this second phase of bans. But for the moment, Gen.G just can't take.
I think you're forgetting that Valve don't really care about the money in CS skins. All the money comes from Steam.
Yeah, we probably get the
What?
Orianna Azir both banned again this time around.
I think you underestimate how much money Valve is making off of cases
so you medic, you
and
Azir ban or Yunara
taking
ban.
fees off of transactions. Because there's some form of trading happening on the platform too.
Take the Azir, have a great matchup in the mid lane, and sure you can get the Yunara, but honestly Yunara trying to play into a Ryze can find it really, really difficult. So Top Esports trying to pinch that pool a little bit.
I think it's really troll to say they make the most money off something else, so they should just headshot this other thing.
Like Cream has been struggling to really have as much of an impact as he like, and there's the right.
It's like imagine you own a skyscraper, okay? On the bottom floor you have a bunch of cafes, okay? And then, but you're making most of the money on the offices you're renting on the higher floors. And then you're telling yourself that it doesn't matter that someone took a big shit in front of the cafe. The money comes from elsewhere. It's like, bro, everything bleeds into everything.
Make it a little bit difficult to find the fights, and especially with the Cassiopeia, Ryze, Orianna, the Talia, the Aurora gone, so much has been taken out of that mid lane champion pool, and Chovy's just going to get his hands on his ear now.
Maybe it's a factor of TES right now have more confidence in Jackie than they do in
well,
Cream.
you're not our first pick, we don't mind. A lot of mid laners are out already.
The comp does go, but yeah, it is a
Wukong is
dangerous
out too.
proposition to give Chovy the Azir.
Don't
Cream
know.
could go then, you know, like a Kali or something into it and try and put some,
I'm happy with Azir open.
pressure, some assassin answer into it if Gen.G snapped that one up.
Isn't the change response and preparation incoming gambling bans in EU?
You have to feel like that's where it's headed.
Yeah, you don't really want to give away.
I don't know how this helps.
Alongside Yunara, it's kind of best of both worlds for Top Esports at that point. I will say I think Cream's slightly more comfortable on the Azir. On the Akali than he is on the Azir.
Guys into Yunara.
So if Top Esports
If you evolve your game as a money laundering machine, probably, yeah.
Chovy then has counter on R3 here before we move into that second set of bans. It's kind of both teams playing a little bit of chicken with the chicken in the mid lane.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They're still going to go for the Azir here. Like
Cream has had fine Azir games. Fine.
Was known for his Silas and Akali play, so
you know what I would like?
What they're trying to play into.
I would like Chovy on Akali.
So strong.
Can we get Chovy on Akali, guys?
Just go for slamming all these tanks now and have yourself a field day.
And Gen.G know that this is what was going to happen.
Would be cool, no?
If you're drafting on the world stage and you say, oh, we'll leave Yunara and Azir up, and you're not sure if they're going to take Yunara and Azir, like Gen.G have to have prepared something for this.
Gen.G have prepared that they're going to accept the Reddit challenge.
I think picking Galio into Azir.
Win rate champions at the tournament.
Okay,
Jarvan and Kai'Sa.
Yeah, but now Top Esports want to enter the ring with
I think like picking Galio into Azir is kind of uncomfortable, guys. But he could.
Played, so I guess
it's definitely a Chovy-esque thing to do. But I would like to see an Akali. Oh, bro, I haven't seen Chovy LeBlanc since 2021. Wow, Chovy LeBlanc? Hey. Oh. Oh, Chovy.
There it is, Yone alongside this Kai'Sa Jarvan.
This is so fun. Dive here. We've got Jarvan, Kai'Sa, Yone showing early top 3, 4.
Isn't Yone super nerfed?
Gen.G here with their early picks.
He's okay, I would say.
I mean, if they're not going to be able to pull out this one, then
Rumble incoming.
Well.
The ban, yeah.
Like
Rumble ban is incoming. That's for sure.
To make things significantly easier for you in this sort of respect, and even getting rid of another enchanter. 369 can still go back towards something like the K'Sante, and again, kind of be that frontline peel tool for Top Esports, and that could round out their draft very easily.
I think the Renata ban makes sense. I also think a Bin Pippi might be a good idea here if you're Gen.G. You don't really want to give that Poppy over when you've got Jarvan, you've got Kai'Sa diving onto the backline. You probably want follow-up engage with your support. So we'll see if Gen.G decide that the Renata or the Poppy is more important for that next ban. Nautilus going to get taken away by Top Esports.
Yeah, lots of those counter-engage options. Braum as well, still kind of floating around. Or never mind, Braum was used in the first game. Will not be floating.
Just in the ether perpetually until we get to
That's what happens with Fearless bans. They have to watch the rest of the games in the skybox. Yeah, that's how that goes. So.
Yeah, I do agree though. Like, the Poppy going to be bad? I was expecting like Renata Poppy to be the two bans, to be honest, coming into this, because I think Renata works incredibly well with Yunara, enabling her. Also, it means that she can play hyper aggressive thanks to the revive. Plus, having that like tank frontline for the Cassante now feels like you've set up a fantastic position for yourself with Gen G playing hyper aggressive on the dive.
Okay.
Couple of bands. Nautilus, Alistair, Poppy.
How did Rumble get through, guys?
Yeah, so you're
like, what are we talking about?
Combination with Kai'Sa
How did Rumble make it?
See what sort of engaged champion that they would want.
Rumble made it?
I was thinking of the Leona. This is kind of the two that you really look at as the final two big engaged
Yeah.
teams. We'll see where Duro decides to go. Expect to see the support here. Rakan as well does fit into that.
Lulu Zhao.
Although he's more
I feel like Hang's gonna go Kama, no?
Has a Jarvan and Ione going in, so his follow-up is
Kama Cassante?
followed up on. And he can jump in with that quickness. Top esports looking towards top and support most likely. Pantheon can be flex, but it's very rare that we see that these days into the support role. Usually
Beautiful morning.
jungle position.
The Rumble takeaway.
Top esports would just opt in towards like tank frontline and
I don't know about that, guys.
support to try and set yourself up for
Jeez, make yourself AP heavier, bros.
Fire with fire here.
Yeah, and I kind of like taking away the Rumble as well, because it does look dangerous if Equalizer comes over the top of the dive with a Jarvan Cataclysm. The hot pot would be spicy. And Aurelia would be very, very spicy, so I don't think we're going to get it. And you get the common answer into the Rumble, the Ornn.
Am I going to get the Fell For It Again award?
Never going to be locked in. Ornn gives you that long-range engage that you need, also gives you a tank for later on. Let's see if Gen G,
I think Gen G will win.
The game out as quickly as they were in game one here with a dive with a little bit of
I think Gen G will
extra
win.
front-to-back damage here with the Ornn being that front line.
But how will they win, guys?
Esports have great dive, really good
How
damage.
will they win?
No true tank. The Leona obviously can be a little bit tanky.
And like not great peel either. That was kind of the other thing that I was looking at. Like the Emperor's Divide can do some work, but against an Ornn long range engage, the Jarvan follow up, Yone, Rakan, it is going to be.
The TES draft is not bad. I just have no faith in them.
And I think that's where for Gen G you're going to be fairly happy with great late game.
Bro, honestly, I haven't noticed that little blue text before Tango.
Honestly, I just prefer Gen G, what Gen G brought to the table.
Honestly, I do agree. I feel like they're going to have
I think if Top Esports lost the previous game, I think
the Jarvan to go to try and put some early pressure. Azir is even weaker early now than in previous iterations, so maybe they could put extra pressure.
Gen G were drafting for fun, no?
Yone ahead, then that is a key to victory in itself.
28-6 on it all-time Chovy. I mean, the thing is, you can pick any champion in the roster of League of Legends. Chovy probably has a pretty positive win rate on it, but his Yone is exceptional across the board. Gonna jump on into game 2 here between Top Esports and Gen G with a quarterfinals berth on the line. Top Esports will just be looking to survive past the 25-minute mark. The crowd very much at the backs of their LPL representatives, and they need all the support they can get after being demolished in game 1.
My bullet is up.
Pretty standard stuff here for Chovy on the Yone. As the cheers go up, nobody going for any tricky level 1s, although we may see an attempt for the Raptor ward.
Looks like Top Esports.
Can you explain why Ornn over Galio? I think people just prefer the champion. I think Ornn is a lot more consistent in his output in the game, and Galio is a little bit just a walking brick. How was MKOI versus TSW? MKOI won, but like it was disturbing how bad some of the players were playing. Georgia Pune did it to really smurf today.
Look at this, they're sticking around a long time. Okay, so Chovy does get visual confirmation. They know that Hung and Jackie are going to be coming over delayed. They will be able to bully their way in. And everybody with a calm start.
Yeah. Although Top Esports are the 3rd seed coming out of the LPL, I have to remember that they played up against lost out in the regional gauntlet, the qualifiers. AL taking that spot. IG coming back in 4th, and I think a lot of people will look at just LPL teams in general and think, oh, they love to fight. And game 1, there was a lot of fighting on the Rift. But Top Esports generally, through the summer split, were much more of the cerebral team. They're much more macro-orientated, kind of very similar to some of the best LCK teams. Hung did look for an engage there, couldn't quite find it, and Jackie Love and Hung will get the push here with that cultivation of spirit. getting the extra Runans, kind of pseudo-Runans on the minion wave.
It was much more about their objective setup, and you got to see a glimpse of that.
I love it, chat, how we can flame pro players even when we never had competitive matches in the league.
Kind of more what
well, it's entertainment. Like, well, what else is it for?
With guys like
If you can't talk shit on your, if you can't talk shit in Glaze, like, that's entertainment.
Unfortunately, they just haven't.
Think like, I don't even have a driver's license, and I flame Formula 1 drivers.
Moving over into towards Worlds as well.
Yeah, and Gen G,
there's not like,
beast, like
there's nothing that needs, there's no qualifications necessary, you know.
Survive, get the big seismic shove onto 2 and build on this early lead. When Gen G showed us, they know
you don't have a driver's license? No, I don't. There's nothing wrong flaming Lando Norris.
Change their fortunes here in game number
You don't have a driver's license? No, I don't. I bike everywhere, bro, and walk everywhere. I love walking and biking.
I always feel slow. It's like, oh, they will slowly do it. They'll wait for the next Drake. They'll take the next Drake. They'll take things off the map. Gen G are methodical.
I just love biking and walking.
Things just accelerate away from you so quickly as Canyon is looking to start putting his foot on that gas pedal. The jump in, the heal out. Jackie Love has to flash.
All right. Like Duro played this bad, because I think if you wait for Canyon, you EQ and then flash and then EW and then you chill, no? In Europe you can. Oh yeah, I thought you said you can't. You can definitely, bro. I can take a train from my hometown to Paris in 5 hours.
Really giving that respect to the Pantheon. A flash stun, point and click is pretty hard to outplay even for Yone.
Able to catch his Zenith plays Shield of Daybreak combination onto Juro, but the Gleaming Quill pops him back to about 80% HP. 369 with the push in the top lane, as to be expected in the Rumble into Ornn matchup. The Flame Spitter does a lot of work for you there in the early game.
It's still getting a nice little CS lead for himself, because you can see that like the wave is starting to push back out away from Keen, and there's still about a 7 CS lead. So in the grand scheme of things, 369 going to see if he can try and get some revenge for what was the last game, and he has been an exceptional Rumble, 25-9 over the course of his career. This guy has popped off across JDG, Top Esports, so many different iterations of the rosters he's been on this pick. And maybe, just maybe, he can actually turn that Cataclysm back around to be a bit of hell on earth for Gen G.
See how effective he can be. Early game relatively calm between these two teams. Chovy TPing back in with double daggers and a longsword. Trading onto Cream here, who steps forward knowing that Soul Unbound will pop
Chovy, bro. TP'd back into this. Damn.
HP.
Yeah, Cream straight up
getting
the better of Chovy in a lot of these skirmishes we're seeing.
Oh, yeah.
Missed a lot of these cues. Cream, confident positioning and movement from him.
Kanavi looking for the steal. Canyon does get it with the smite. It's going to be forced.
All right, TES, they're angry.
Kanavi, spear shots. Won't get it.
Spear shot.
Pops Chovy underneath the tower.
My favorite streamer.
Losing minions to this turret and plates with Hung coming in to assist. Top Esports should be able to deny quite a lot of CS away from Chovy.
Azir lane phase got a lot weaker, guys, so it's understandable that he went for a little greedier page. Kanavi, Kanapki, we out here queuing. Oi! Oh, Cream with the banana combo!
And they get first blood! What was that, Chovy?
Chovy plays on the edge,
I don't know, bro.
And he wins!
Yeah, just in the Matrix. Yeah, just in the fucking Matrix, bro. What the fuck, bro? Nah, they're not fair, bro.
Dodging the Kanavi spears will have to potentially dodge one more here.
TS is obviously like their hands are covered in lube or something. Like they can't like click their buttons or some shit. I don't know what's happening. They can't hold their mouse. Like this is. But Genji just playing like they're just having fun, bro.
Kanavi's spear as well going in the dirt right at Chovy's feet. You could hear the crowd's reaction as the Comet spear came up short.
Cream does manage to come out and grab the wave, holding it just outside of the tower range. But we'll have another look at this, because you can see just short of Chovy, and then Cream jumps in thinking he can take the fight, and Chovy, it's 100 HP. It's sub 100 HP.
Damn. Lila. Nice.
Well the coaching staff is in awe.
Yeah, they're like, wow, I love having these players on my team. This is great. These guys are
Bro, if I was on Genji, like even as the water boy, bro, I would just wake up every day so happy. Wow. Just in awe every day. It's like, look, I got Chovy in the mid lane.
Mechanically, some of the best players in the world, and even if Chovy hasn't been as good as he was last year, he is still exceptional.
But I think it's also like shout out to Canyon, because this guy has been more of a like, hey, I'm gonna be selfish and farm for myself. But now that the meta is starting to shift over in towards more of these proactive junglers in the early stages, like the Vi's, the Jarvins, less so kind of the Wukong.
I don't know if Cream is gonna recover from this. Somehow Ruler is just 6 years ahead. Dry, bro. He's gonna catch this wave. He's just CSing better. I guess maybe the wave was frozen off the gank.
Chovy had been backed into a corner. You know, Cream had been whittling him down, and so it was necessary for Canyon.
The Genji players are just so damn efficient. It was the same in game 1.
Genji kind of bailed themselves out with that one.
And you could see how much pressure Top Esports wanted to put on that mid lane as well. Hung coming across, Kanavi spending so long around it, trying to shut down Chovy, which is something that has worked for teams in the past. If you can put Chovy
the collectiveness of LCK, crazy GMing this year, absolutely brilliant.
Try to get himself back into the game.
But it's what anyone's legend did against Genji that got through the win, was focus on Chovy, put him behind, then use that to start looking for invades and be able to take over the game with the Kiana. But instead, in this game, that focus on mid ends up backfiring, and now it's Top Esports that are struggling to make things happen.
Keen has the call of the Forge God on a flash. He's going to call in the train to try and clear out the wave. Puts it down the Fissure as well as Hung flashes forward. Good
Baby Keen.
for the solar flare there for the follow-up.
All right, cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Yeah, way to keep focused, Top Esports. They remain calm. You know, they focus on the next minion wave. They go for the dive here. A couple of minions still left alive. That is enough to
Hung on Leona already looking way better than the Nico game.
Because they know, all right, Genji are going to go for the dragon. We will just go for the kill.
Such an easy way to itemize though for Baby Keen. Nice, Jacket Up just got shaved, misses cannon, misses range. Look at Chovy just poshing on Jacket Up, denying CS. Scary Magician, thank you very much for 13-month Lila. Genji, collect the objective. I think Canyon's form is making me like very hopeful for Genji, bro. He has good form.
Exchange of a kill in the top side for a dragon for Genji.
Do you think there are more teams this year that are underperforming compared to domestic performances? Honestly, the level is just overall down because of Fearless. Don't get me wrong, I like Fearless. It's fun, right, to see new champions, but in best of threes and BO1s, it is very costly, I feel like. And like obviously when players have to spread themselves so damn thin, like they don't get the same amount of repetition on champs, you know?
So much vision from TES setting up their swap.
Would it be once Fearless? Yeah, they were. How funny would it be, like, if you play a champion in group stage, you were just not allowed to play it for the rest of group stage? So, like, if you're playing a series at 2-2, and you played, like, a grand total of, like, 6 games or some shit, 7 games, 6 games, you have no champions left. And then the enemy has a pool, you have a pool.
Recurve bow at the moment for Chovy, unable to quite complete that Blade of the Ruin.
And then, like, if you pull out good champs and you lose, it's cooked. You invest good champs and lose. How can BO1 be Fearless? Are we just having fun, bro? It can't be.
Push in the wave against the range damage that comes out from Cream.
Still, Canyon putting pressure on towards his top side, letting Keen just kind of sit here with the a nice little freeze for himself. And although there has been pressure from
I think Worlds by design is going to have like underperformance. It's like a logistical challenge. It's also like a patch. There's also a break. It's also the format. So many variables to make teams underperform or look like they're underperforming, you know? You get put under strain and under pressure in a different way.
Through his own red side. A much slower game, much more patient game from both these teams. Kind of to be expected. Like, everyone wants items in this game. Kaiser wants at least
I believe G2 will do the RX run.
Probably a couple behind it. Azir the same, Jackie the same. So everyone willing just to not force the tempo too much in this early game.
Still getting the flank onto Chovy here.
Chovy has flash. Q's out.
Oh, it's actually the Mortal Steel 3 that.
Chovy is the most Blade Ruin King. The strongest no Blade Ruin King Yone I've ever seen.
You know, it's a Yone. It fell out of meta for a bit, but this guy's still the slipperiest snake in Summoner's Rift.
But it's also like
Genji, somebody check their pockets, bro.
Because even if you don't get the kill onto
Somebody check Genji's pockets.
What you can do is use that to establish a ton of vision for this dragon that's in 2 minutes time and try and find more picks or play off that. But Genji are just...
It's only one person that's ever bought Mercs on fucking Yone, no? Isn't it just Quid? It's the Quid tech? Is it Quid? I think it's Quid, right?
Yeah, and credit to Joe.
People just love the reduced cooldown on Q attack speed, bro. Which makes sense.
He is still been able to collect his CS.
Fate sealed out from Jovi. Ultimate for ultimate exchange. That was really nice. That was really nice from both players. You can see Cream has to go for it at some point with the back from Hung, and you have to make them have it. You know, it's like playing poker. You can't just fold as soon as they raise the stakes. You have to make them have it. And that's what Cream did there. Ultimate for ultimate.
Call the Chovy doesn't flash.
Slightly shorter cooldown than Chovy's.
And then Chovy did have it.
Yep, he did.
So he is able to lay it down and get out. Still not quite enough for his.
I think Chovy's record against Caps is like, I think he lost one map.
Refill his potion and head on out to the side.
Actually, I guess Chovy lost against him 1-1 in group stage, 2019.
A huge amount of pressure coming down towards this bottom side, but Duro again trying to match Hung, making sure that Chovy can continue.
But Chovy has a really good record against Caps.
Went a bit far, and we'll just back away. And again, I think it's now just
And then that single BO1, right, at MSI.
It's going to be the next port of call here. First items completed across the board on top esports side, and it's just a question of, has Chovy gotten enough for that first item himself?
Has he got that Blade of the Ruined King yet? Kanik Rooken complete on Keen. No Leandries yet for 369, but as he goes back there, it populates into the scoreboard, so we'll finish that. Leandries just in time, has the equalizer, has the teleport, as does Keen. So if we do see a fight around this Drake in 20 seconds time, both top laners can come down and join the party. Chovy
seeding is on random. 3-0 teams play against 3-2 teams.
Stepping forward, Chovy forced down to half HP. Grand Skyfall used as well from Kanavi, but Chovy respects it well.
And then 3-1 teams play against 3-1 teams and 3-1 the last 3-2 team.
Going to give TS early movement into the river. They actually double up their control wards. Not the biggest of
Game is fine for top esports. Perfectly fine. Alright, a little bit of a stab. Cream is half HP here. Important the blue side leverages here because there's no blade yet.
It looks like top esports are trying to play off the timer.
Nikhil's first, and then Ruler, of course, has Q upgrade, which is a big deal.
So as long as they can take the fights and start them before that reset comes through, they should be fine. But they're a little late on starting up this dragon because they want that Scuttle Crab, and that's bought the time now for the Blade of the Rune King to be completed. And Genji confident to step forward.
Double TP as well. Keen is actually coming down towards this.
I wish Azizol just scaled with AD and could crit.
369 does have the push, and it's only a second Drake for Genji. Top Esports could decide not to try and take this Barney, not to try and take this Frey. Trying to control that mid lane at the moment.
Azir comes in with the heal. Rumble, level 11, almost 12. 369. Top Esports have very little CC tools. Oh, combination in the nation. Duron 1. He gets out because he can dash. Jackie Love. Oh. Ooh. Wow. I don't know, Genji just used their health bar so damn good, man.
Soldier down to try and take out.
Oh, so sad.
Genji once again find a mid-game fight and absolutely delete top esports.
Genji
damn. I don't know, bro. The way they team fight is crazy, bro.
Choosing the moment to go right back in.
What is this, bro? They are all like just darting in and out, baiting so much, bro. Look how frustrating they are to play against. Keen Orn again.
And Ruler this entire time is getting to free hit on 2 key carries in the back line. And here is where it gets incredible from Genji.
Crazy.
Gives his life, but it opens the gap for Ruler to go forward and flashes on Genji to support the AD carry to make sure he can escape with a sliver of HP as Cream falls before the LCK first seeds.
A 5-for-1 for Genji. In that
position,
now 3.3k ahead, 17 minutes in. Look at the damage the Ruler dished out. 4.2k in that last fight. And for top esports, it's not for lack of trying. They played the team fight pretty well. It's just Genji with that bouncy castle at the start. We're able to find home.
Nah, but you need to add my qualifiers if I say that, Shinrens. You have to add my qualifiers.
And Gen.G just like that.
But yeah, Gen.G's fucking blasting
once again. I mean, you can get your consolation prize of the Rift Herald. TS will go back out and try and burn this one down.
Probably blast them even if they had worse setup.
But with just that fight,
I don't think necessarily they have a better draft this game, I think.
And I love the way Ruler played that fight in particular. Like, so often at Worlds, we've seen Kai'Sa's shoot themselves into the back line and shoot themselves in the foot because the Yunara immediately opens fire and is just able to duel the Kai'Sa in that back line. But Ruler found his moment to get on towards Jackie Love and enable the fight onto Cream, and now 369's in trouble.
369 has no flash here. Call to the Fortune, not going to come back with the Fate Seal. Goes on to 369. Flame Spitter, not enough to kill off Keen. Kanavi coming in. Duro there for a little bit of shielding.
All right, Jackie. Jackie, how about some kills for Jackie?
Keen trying to escape.
All right.
Will pierce his heart as he goes down.
I need Jackie to get kills.
Collapsed on Chovy. Doesn't have the flash. No Fate sealed for him either. Will be very
All right, they're gonna trap him.
Out of Cream if he goes
this
in
is Chovy comfort zone, under the turret, under the sea.
Trying to shepherd.
Oh, Chovy might die, but bro, at what cost?
Soul Unbound comes out, but Chovy under the tower survives.
Look at mid tier 2, guys. It's gone.
Top esports put him 6 feet under. Meanwhile, Gen.G pushed through the mid wave to get a tier 1 to look for a tier 2. Rift Herald charging towards this top side will be an exchange
they got a tier 2 top.
Tier 2 towers.
A solid sequence for top esports.
You know, Keen not able to make it happen at the beginning. TS immediately close the trap here. That's what you have to be ready to do. If any sort of error does show up, immediately go and punish it.
And the fact that you have that Pantheon is huge, but Keen, yeah, just doesn't quite get the second pass on the ore, and it means that immediately the turnaround is available. Kanavi with that ultimate can cover the top. Duro, heroics here to try and save Keen, but the collapse from top esports is just too quick and too strong. But an overextension, honestly, try and make this play happen, especially waiting for the wave, does mean that you get the tier 2 in the mid for Gen.G, and it's kind of this injection of gold for Cream off of the towers, answered for an injection of gold onto Ruler.
It's a 2k gold swing for top esports. They're still 1.5k in the hole, but 369 now 1.2k ahead.
At least they didn't fold like fucking launchers yet.
As Hung steps up in this top lane.
Cream forced to go Leandri second. I mean, Void second, but at least we have the MR burn item on Rumble as well. There's some magic damage heavy.
Currently in the mid lane, and Gen.G decide to back away.
Yeah, a little bit risky. Not every member accounted for. You can
Excuse me.
Coming out of base.
Feeling so nappy today, man.
As well as the Pantheon, and TES. After that play,
really needs to get Hurricane before they play.
A little bit, you know, getting at least some opening and seeing
okay, this is interesting.
Are mortal.
369. Look at the flank here on
Rumbler's ulto.
Cream going in first. 369 with the flame spitter. Fate Seal comes out. Chovy able to dodge away with the Q3. Quickness coming out. The Zenith blade eaten by Juro. Chovy with another shield able to survive. And now the Mikhail's going to heal him up, and he's taken out by Kanavi. Meanwhile, Hung and 369 are now in the middle of Gen.G. Chovy survived for so long that Gen.G collapsed.
Gen.G just collapsed first. You now will know where to be found, bro.
Jackie Love couldn't get to the fight, but Gen.G en masse show up in the top lane and put them in the dirt.
TES, they go after Chovy, but the Avengers assemble quickly. Chovy buys some time. He ults and then he Qs away from the Azir ultimate that did not knock him
Chovy
back.
had cleanse already? Or was that just Mikos? I think it was Mikos. He doesn't have Qs, that's right.
He stays alive for a long time. Ruler,
they had no shield but there.
Duro again trying to keep him up, and by that time, Ruler and the rest of the Avengers have arrived to finish the job.
The speed, the rapidity of the response there from Gen.G. They called an ambulance, and it was top esports that they put in the body bags. Now again a 4k lead for Gen.G. A moment ago I was saying it's a 2k swing. It swung back, and soul point for Gen.G has been begun.
Soul point for Gen.G, Atacam for Gen.G, gold leads for Gen.G. It feels inevitable this series for Gen.G.
Joe is just waiting just out of range of the Zenith blade, dashes back to Chovy, snaps
for
back
Gen.G.
to the river. There's
everything for Gen.G. Your pants,
5 minutes away as Kanavi
your laundry.
Alright,
Kanavi's lonely. Oh, Alzir is stabbing though. Alzir is stabbing with Cannon, gets a nice EQ through. Alright, Jackie Love gets a kill. JackeyLove once more. He doesn't have Hurricane Arcana though. Oh! JackeyLove on 3. Holy, Top Esports fighting back. Good ult from Cream.
369 and Top Esports fighting back.
They get some extra gold and they open up.
They're really doing it, Red Band.
Objective bounty's still up too if they can stick around.
Duro and Chovy, look for the quickness combo.
Oh,
Genji,
are you mad?
Duro almost escapes, but
whoa.
Chovy just able to survive.
100
HP on him.
Okay.
Have the tools to close that gap.
Hey,
in the end,
Chinese Azir is... Chinese Azir got a little bit of an upgrade, I have to say, in last month.
As they set up for it after the dragon.
Okay, so
a small one.
In on Duro at the top side, and they have the equalizer to try and support his
Wow, Genji is so mental, no? For this fight.
To flash out after Genji, go for the engage on the other half, and Jackie is free hitting here. So him and Cream are able to take out the first.
Good ult here from Cream. Look at this.
The re-engage from
a little sidestep too.
Jackie, and then
timing is fucking nice.
Tries to go. Chovy tries to go over Cream's ultimate, and they get rebuffed.
Perfect timing on the Emperor's Divide there to keep Jackie safe, to keep Cream safe.
I went to the store in the morning to get something to cook for dinner, and there was Genji Chovy in the fruit aisle just fucking farming the produce.
Soul in 3 minutes time has to be playing on their mind.
For Top Esports.
That's what we should use Sora AI for. Just like Chovy riding a tractor and fucking harvesting potatoes.
Gold the lead now for Genji. Chovy though 2k ahead himself has that QSS. Makes it so hard to lock him down in these frays.
And he's got the first Ornn upgrade from Keen as well. And the Mikhails that you talked about earlier. So QSS and Mikhails to allow this Yone to continue to carry from melee range. Level 15 now achieved for him on top of it.
Third item for Ruler as well is such an important pickup on the Kai'Sa. Makes this
state-mandated JackeyLove in. That's crazy.
Like so much of this again.
Why do Pro go Void on Azir? They just don't like abilities.
And it's what we were talking about from draft. It's these two carries are absolutely absurd in these late game fights, but when the fights are so spread out and there's so
Chip
much
upgrade is
threat,
okay, I think.
it's
Your idea is okay.
outplays to happen from Cream and JackeyLove in these fights.
It's IE always is untrue. Right now, it's just basically you get 1,000 gold of stats, and there's a set amount of stats that are in the pool, and if you upgrade Shield Bow, you get the same AD as IE and Shield Bow, so it's good, guys. They reworked it.
But he's actually going to go and join up with his team in the mid lane. 369, the one assigned to deal with Chovy, which is not the easiest state of affairs. Zenithblade follows Duro across here. Hung not
Duro taking some beach volleyballs to the face. Oh, JackeyLove's 3 items, by the way.
Collapse, but he does get out. Ruler almost connecting there, but everyone from Top Esports able to spread wide enough to avoid that missile.
Yeah, good bit of damage there from JackeyLove. Put a dent into Ruler, or into Duro at the very least. Chunking out the Rakan.
I'm worried that Bilibili, if they don't beat T1 in the next round, they're gonna of course, draw them, that they will be deported to LFL2, bro. To qualify to first stand via
prime targets for the next couple of minutes.
Via EME Masters.
Until that Dragon Soul, it doesn't look like Top Esports have got that time to buy.
Just going to push through this mid-wave. Lord Dominic's finish for JackeyLove means he'll get through Keen a little bit easier, who's gone for that Frozen Heart. I was wondering if perhaps it would be a Randuin's, but with the waves pushing in bot and top lane,
they are removing residencies, guys. But yeah, they have Italian Shadow and Swedish Knight.
Around this Baron, Juro's going to step up. TP comes out. Knavi looking to see if they can catch the Rakan, but it's not the
Baus versus Bin. That's the matchup I want to see.
Right now. Knavi, you're just going to Grand Starfall in. You have no vision right now. Juro there to act as a bodyguard, and Genji back away from it.
Blue trinket.
Alteration was used in the pit. The vision once again denied by the control ward just sitting outside of it. Knavi dashes in.
Alright.
Keen, not really the target that you want.
He's baby Keen. On Duro out of all people. Rumble does nothing. Okay, JackeyLove ulted. Genji kite back. That's so cool, unaware, bro.
He backs away. And now Gen G continue to play back towards this Baron.
Yeah, Gen G can do Nash, I think. Good movement from Jackie. EQ flashed on Jackie. GG. Do they just end the game here, guys?
He dives in but dies for it. 369 trying to flash away. Cannon can still flag and jag and chase this one down once again. Try as you might.
Do they end the game here?
Can't beat them. Gen G are the best
Oh,
in
they
the
do
world
Nash.
right now.
They're just cool,
Damn.
calm, and collected there. Gen G, you can tell. They're just waiting
Manos still don't
for the
think top are
Yunar
not
ultimate
chokers.
to drop off. As soon as it
Because
does,
they're getting stumped by
they
Gen
pull the
G.
trigger, they re-engage onto Jackie, and
For the KT match, you can say, but for this,
the angles that they're attacking here is Chovy coming in from one angle to force Jackie into reach of Canyon and Ruler to follow up. There was no hesitation. There was no chance for top esports. Gen G refused to be denied play.
against Jackie Love, safe flash for this
369
fight.
dying right at the last moment. The Baron goes over to Gen G. There's a Mountain Drake for them, and it will be Soul. And you wonder for top esports, if you do lose this Soul, how
So still alive.
get through this
It looks impossible still for top esports. The gold gap is a little bit too big.
Sitting at 2 items right now as Kanavi jumps in once again.
All right,
target, but he's durable,
Rakan is
and he'll just
balanced.
battle dance his way away. The Solar Flare doesn't find its mark. As now the Court of the Forge God comes out from Keen, and he's praying to Chovy that Church may be in session. Chovy unable to find the engage off towards the side, but again, someone has used the
Rumble is flying. It's a forest fire. Jackie Love is punching. Yes. Alright, Jackie Love got the kill. That's all I care about. Oi! Hey! Alright. Optimistic. But it is what it is. It's over.
The other way once again. Gen G clean up the fight, and top esports are left rattled.
Ruler has been hit with better zeros than that one.
Hey, no way, Dagda, don't do Ruler like that. Dagda.
Gen G march
Dagda.
Gen G are gonna make quick work
That's
of top
rude.
esports.
The first game was sub 25 minutes. The second one likely to be sub 30. I think a lot of people will wonder, could this series have just been an email? Gen G take their rightful spot in the final 8.
Bro, I have to say though, Gen G today,
Pretty scary. Gen G coming in.
Gen G today, bah.
An
Gen G today,
statement series here from them, destroying top.
It's just their team fighting every single time. It's so impressive. It's the coordination in those split-second moments. It's one mind activating through 10 hands and slapping back every team in the world.
Superlative stuff from Gen G for top esports.
Oh, lovely.
The road to a victory versus the
Gen G
LPL of
was fucking
LCK
brilliant
continues
today,
here
bro.
at Worlds.
Canyon's playing good again. I think it's over.
And we'll see if they can make it into those quarterfinal berths in a couple of days' time. Gen G continue to impress though. The game against anyone's legend, I think we saw whether they could bleed, and we saw that they can, but when you come back, when you bounce back with a performance like this, a quick 2-0 in another best of 3, it is absolutely devastating for the teams watching on the sidelines. Analyst TES just taking a moment to all get ready. We'll hear from them in just a second. Tomorrow though, we round out the 1 and 2s as now we're going to hand it over to Shocks at the analyst desk. Take it away.
Okay, bros.
Thank you so much, Emily.
I'm not doing the rundown today.
Saying, well, nothing less than a world
I'm feeling so fatigued today. I don't know why, guys.
Wouldn't fall against TES.
I don't know why I feel so fatigued today.
To the quarterfinals of Worlds 2025, as was expected.
Yeah.
Even in this matchup, I think.
This is one of those comps that Gen G lock in and teams around
It's
the
so fatigued
world
today. I don't know why. So
emulate,
tomorrow we're gonna bring the greatest energy after I have
nearly
lunch.
as
Don't try this at home.
or
After I have lunch.
successfully. And it's because of this man right here as we look back through the waning moments of this game.
So we already made the rundown all good.
So phenomenally
Alright, bros. I'll catch you
good.
guys on the next one.
Like
Peace,
every
peace, peace.
time they were
Bye-bye.
trying
Bye-bye.
to get
Bye-bye.
on
Only
him,
love.
trying
Thank you
to
for
get
watching
to the
me.
back line, he's then just
Catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully we don't lag tomorrow. I'll try to optimize my PC.
I gotta say,
Raid Forsen.
he had a very rough
Something
day,
like that,
rough
yeah.
day.